Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Kirti Sophia Panachan, and in today's session we'll be continuing the poem Refugee Blues written by W.H. Auden. We have already dealt with the introduction about the poet and also the poem, and till stanza 6 we have finished learning. So moving on to stanza 7. Thought I heard the thunder rumbling in the sky. It was Hitler over Europe saying they must die. We were in his mind, my dear, we were in his mind. Here we could see that the speaker begins to hear a thunder sound in the sky. That sound was Hitler's sound. Hitler was over Europe, and Hitler's sound was heard by these refugees. And what was Hitler saying? He was saying that they must die. In this sentence, the word they might also refer to the refugees. So here the speaker is telling his beloved that Hitler had them. Them means the refugees also in his mind. And he was a person who wanted to kill Jews and people who were not of high or higher status. So that's stanza 7. Moving on to the next stanza. Saw a poodle in a jacket fastened with a pin. Saw a door opened and a cat let in. But they weren't German Jews, my dear, but they weren't German Jews. So in these lines, the speaker is trying to reveal the present condition of human beings. Animals were treated very well by people at that time. Even the poodle is a kind of dog, and the dog was having a jacket, and it had a pin on that jacket, and it was well dressed, and the doors were open for cats to come in any time. So people at that time took care of animals much more than taking care of fellow human beings. Human beings were not at all given any consideration, or refugees were treated like dust. But they weren't German Jews. The speaker is telling that the poodle or the cat weren't German Jews. That is the reason why the people were absolutely happy to open the doors for poodles and cats, but not for refugees. Stanza 9. Went down the harbour and stood upon the quay. Saw the fish swimming as if they were free. Only 10 feet away, my dear, only 10 feet away. Then we could see the speaker went down to the harbour. He was standing over the harbour, and when he was standing over there, he was able to see a number of fishes swimming in the water. And when he saw the fishes, he was able to understand that the fish was swimming over there absolutely free. And the fishes were just 10 feet away from him. But on the other hand, he was a person who was unable to be free. He was bound in chains. He was able to find the nature was free, but on the other hand, human beings were in chains. So moving on to the next part. Stanza 10. Walked through a wood, saw the birds in the trees. They had no politicians and sang at their ease. They weren't the human race, my dear. They weren't the human race. So in this stanza, the speaker is walking through the woods, and he was able to see a number of birds in the trees. And when he thought about the birds, he actually thought that they were completely free and they could sing whatever they want. They had no politicians around them directing them what to do. They were having or living a life of their own. But that is not the condition that the refugee or the speaker is facing at the moment. And he is comparing that they, that is the birds, are not humans. They are birds, and if they were humans, this won't be the situation that's happening over there. So they weren't the human race, my dear. They weren't the human race, because if it was the human race would have politics, and they would have restrictions, and they would show partiality in whatever they can. Moving on to stanza 11. Dreamt I saw a building with 1,000 floors, 1,000 windows, and 1,000 doors. Not one of them was ours, my dear, not one of them was ours. In this stanza, the speaker is sharing a dream that he saw to his beloved. He dreamt that he saw a building that had thousands of floors and thousands of windows and doors. But he is telling his beloved that even though he saw such a huge building, it was not theirs. It did not belong to them. Even in a dream, they were not able to get a shelter. It was denied to them. Moving towards the last stanza of this poem. Stood on a great plain in the falling snow. 10,000 soldiers marched to and fro, looking for you and me, my dear, looking for you and me. So in these stanzas, we could see that even the dreams of the refugees are not optimistic. And in this stanza, he saw himself and his lover standing on the great plain in the falling snow, and 10,000 soldiers were marching to and fro looking for them. So it is not a dream of joy and hope, but of sorrow and despair that the speaker is seeing. So Auden has admirably documented the plight of the refugees all over the world through this poem. And the poem is of special importance in the present global context, as migration has become a burning problem. The speaker of the poem is a Jewish refugee, as we all know. I've told previously that it's a Jewish refugee who's seeking asylum in some places or in another country, who is addressing his lover about the terrible plight of the refugees of the world. That's what this poem is fully about. The term blues, we know that it's refugee blues. That's the title of this poem. Blues stands for an event which is depressing. And the meter that is used in this poem is a meter that the American blacks usually use in their protest poetry. And the repetition of the phrases of the last lines of each of the stanzas and the use of the word or the phrase my dear in between makes the poem really very touching and emotional and also very powerful. So that's all. I hope the session was extremely fruitful for you all. So see you guys in the next class. Thank you so much.